Time now for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag Climatologist and Market Journal Chief Meteorologist Al Dutcher. Al, hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. How's the forecast looking?
Well, Troy, we did have a nice, good Thanksgiving at our house, and I hope that most of the folks across the state were able to at least enjoy somewhat of a semblance of a halfway normal Thanksgiving given the current COVID situation across the United States. But more importantly, we at least had a decent precipitation event earlier in the week, particularly across portions of south central, southeast, and east central Nebraska, although the dividing line between the haves and the have-not was pretty sharp. Overall, we've seen anywhere from 1/4 inch to 3/4 of an inch general coverage within this region. As we got into extreme southeastern Nebraska, southern Nemaha County, Pawnee County, and Richardson County, all the observation reports we had with the storm system were anywhere between 1 inch and up to 2.5 inches in the far extreme southeastern portion of Richardson County. So they were the big winners. Unfortunately, western Nebraska, we've seen the precipitation totals were exceptionally light, with many areas, particularly northwest and north central, and parts of western half of the northeastern part of the state really went out without any significant precipitation, essentially a trace or less. So we did get some moisture. We need to see more moisture. Unfortunately, the models aren't very conducive in bringing a bunch of moisture into our region. I think the biggest uncertainty in this forecast will be how the upper air low that is expected to form across the southern Rockies during the middle of next week performs as it moves toward the east. That'll have a big bearing on our temperature. So let's get a look at the forecast as we see it according to the newest models. And what we will notice is that we have this upper air cutoff low in the southern stream, and here's our main jet stream pattern, keeping the cold air shuttled up to the east or to the north of us. So we're expecting high pressure to be the dominant force across the central plains. A very nice day. Get out and enjoy it. We'll probably be across the 50s most of the state. Main precipitation band remains to our south. But more importantly, as we go into tomorrow, we see that northern stream trough digging, absorbing that upper air low across the south as high pressure itself moves into the state during the second half of the day, leading to a pretty significant cool down compared to what we've been experiencing recently. The main precipitation pattern itself moves off into the south central portion of the country. That trough continues to remain in play as we go into Monday, bringing the cool air down into our region. So we're going to be looking at highs on Monday. They're probably going to be in the lower 40s to upper 30s. And that precipitation pattern itself moves off into the eastern United States. So by the time we get into Tuesday, we start to see the development of another upper air low. I'm not so confident about this, but it has started to appear in the models. That is expected to just slowly drift toward the east. So we're going to be under the influence of high pressure here in the central United States. And we should see a slight raise in our temperatures, probably a couple degrees. We're looking at mid-40s to possibly up around the 50s in the southwest. This low basically sticks a little bit farther to the south. It is going to increase our flow from the south and into the northwest part of the state. We got the high pressure moving into our region. So we're going to stay pretty consistent, maybe just a slight cool down if we can get some of that cold air from the north into our region. But in terms of precipitation, there just really isn't anything on the map. And that upper air low continues to pivot across the southern Rockies. We get into the midweek period to the end of the week, and that will slowly drift toward the east. High pressure firmly in control. Nothing in the way of precipitation in our region to even be concerned about. Highs again will be close to normal to slightly above normal. Here's the big fly in the ointment. GFS model wants to lift this up a little bit toward the northeast, and it's been recently keeping most of the models to the south of us. So if this does lift up the northeast, we'll get a little more cloud cover as we go into late next week. That may actually have a decrease in our temperatures, but if this stays to the south of us, we should still be well above normal into the 50s. And really, there is no precipitation with this system. It's very weak. It's not lifting a lot of moisture into our region. As we go out even farther into the future, 8 to 14 day forecast from next Thursday through the following Tuesday shows above normal temperatures working into the plains, and that will be the dominant force the second full week of the month. And in terms of precipitation, a very dry forecast with that big ridge building up into Canada. But by the time we get to the 12th, cold air starts to move into our region. So Troy, overall, not a bad forecast.